watch this particular video in 1.5x. Hello everyone, in this particular video let's try to understand about these two questions, like what kind of project should you do as a fresher and how can you get a job in a domain as a fresher. Okay, so many of you ask me in comments and in some other platforms these two questions mainly, so I wanted to address these two questions for you. If we come to the first question, that is what kind of project should you do? Basically, there are two main domains in case of AI. One is computer vision, whereas the second one is natural language processing. I would recommend you to do one specific project in this particular computer vision and one project in NLP, because as a fresher, when you give your resume to someone who is recruiting, he might see your projects. And in projects, if you have one from computer vision and one from natural language processing, he'll understand that you will have knowledge in both these things and he will have interest towards you, because as a fresher, they are open to keep you in multiple teams. You're letting them know that you are flexible in these two domains. They can assign you one of their AI teams. That's why I will recommend you to have one computer vision project and one natural language processing project. I will only suggest you very simple projects because so many of you might not even know some simple algorithms like CNN, or in case of natural language processing, the simple algorithms like RNN and LSTM. If you don't know the basic algorithms, then you can't build some complex projects. Even if the projects that you are building are not very complex, also it's fine. The things that you are building, you should make sure that you should understand each and every step of that particular project. Instead of having some very big project or very complex project and not knowing anything, have some simple project and understand each and every step and project in it in resume in such a way that it attracts the recruiter. So I would suggest this is a better way to land you in a very good job, instead of writing some complex projects and when the recruiter asks you some questions on it, if you're not able to answer, that leaves a very bad impression. So instead, have some simple projects and make sure that whatever question that the recruiter asks from that particular project, you're able to answer that particular question. This would be my suggestion. One simple project from computer vision will be Cypher10 dataset. You can take Cypher10 dataset. In this particular Cypher10 datasets, you will have images of 10 classes. Basically, there are different objects of 10 different classes. So you need to do multi-class classification. So this is a multi-class classification task. You might feel this might be very simple, but it's okay to have simple project, as I'm saying. Once you understand this, you can build some complex projects as well, maybe in future. But your starting point should be simple. If you have lesser time and if you don't know much, then even having this as your project, there is no problem within it. But make sure that you are able to answer each and every question that the recruiter asks. Okay. So this is one simple project that I will be suggesting you in case of computer vision. Whereas in case of NLP, you can do some sentiment analysis on Amazon reviews dataset. So these datasets are publicly available on websites like Kaggle. You can find and you can download the data. So there is no problem for you for finding the dataset. You can search to some complex project where for you, like getting the data itself might be very complex. The first step in any machine learning algorithm is to get the data. If you're not able to get the data, then there is no meaning or there is nothing that you can do in order to proceed further. So first start with some projects where data is available, and on that project do all kinds of processing of data so that you can showcase your knowledge of your data processing, and similarly build some very good models with all the regularization techniques and do kind of hyperparameter tuning, like showcase all your skills within one project itself. That will be very good and project it in a very good way in your resume. Like describe the project in very good way that you did all these things. That would add value to your resume. And this is about the projects that I wanted to suggest. Once you have completed one project from this computer vision and one project from NLP, then you can explore a little bit on LLMs. So you might take some very simple LLM and you can do some fine tuning on that particular LLM. So this would also be very good thing to do. You can find these LLMs on website like Hugging Face. On Hugging Face, you can find open source LLMs and just take one simple model which is lesser than 10 GB or even less than some 6 or 4 GB, and fine tune it for some specific task. Let's say sentiment analysis only. You can do this with the help of LLM also. Instead of doing it with simple LSTM or RNN, you can simply do it with a very simple LLM, or you can do it with BERT model. Try doing with such kind of large language models, then recruiter will understand that you have some knowledge on LLMs also, which is very good sign. Okay, in this way you can proceed. And for doing these LLM fine tuning, you might not be able to have GPU on your own laptops. Then you can use Google Colab, which is very good resource for students, where you can use up to some 12 GB of GPU. Like it is not specified exactly, but in my experience, I think you can use up to 10 to 12 GB. Make sure that you use all the free resources and learn from it. Whenever you wanted to fine tune some specific LLMs and all, you can simply use Google Colab and you can connect runtime to GPU. From there, you can access GPU as well. These things you can do for building your resume with projects. And after that, the next question that comes is how to get job in AI domain as a fresher. If you want me to answer genuinely for this particular question, it will not be very easy as a fresher, because so many recruiters, if they wanted to hire for some AI role, they'll not be hiring freshers. So let's say if they wanted to hire some AI engineer or some ML engineer, they'll not be hiring freshers. Especially, I'm talking about MNCs. If I'm talking about some startups or some small companies, they might do hiring of freshers, but most of the most of the MNCs think that you need some experience in case of this AI or ML. But how will you get experience if you're a fresher, right? So you'll not be having experience. One thing is to do good projects and have some very good knowledge on AI and ML. And also, one suggestion that I would be giving is basically be strong with your DSA. So, whatever companies that you are applying, have ML projects in your resume and have very good understanding of DSA. Because let's say you are applying for some MNC, basically these MNCs will not tell you the role before. Like if they're coming to college, they'll not be specifying what role you will be doing, or they might specify. Generally, they'll say like software development engineer. That's it. It is not very sure that you will be doing only software development. After going into that particular company, you might be allotted to some AI team, or you might be allotted to purely software development team, or any other team. So that's why having ML projects in your resume and having good DSA knowledge is very important. These MNCs, in their rounds, they'll just ask DSA. Okay. And if you have good projects in resume, in some other round, they might ask you about your ML projects and they might check your ML knowledge. Having these ML projects and having good DSA skills will help you to get or to land in some AI team within this particular MNC. Let's say you are applying for some MNC. The MNC might initially ask you DSA questions, and in some other round, they might ask you about the projects that you made on your resume. And then after you joining their company, they might see your projects and they might assign you to some AI team, so that next time when you do some job switch, you will be AI engineer, because now you have the experience that they wanted, right? So like that, you can completely be in this particular AI and ML engineer path. This is one way of doing the things. I would recommend you to have ML projects and also have good knowledge in DSA. So this is what my suggestion for all the freshers that you are doing. Once you are able to crack these MNCs after joining, like there is a high chance that you will be assigned to some AI team. Even if you are not assigned, as far as my knowledge, in all these MNCs, there might be several teams. Like there might be software development team, there might be testing team, there might be AI team specifically. There are so many other teams. In all these teams, now they are building AI applications. Okay, I am part of one MNC. In my company, there are several teams, and all the teams were working on some of the other AI projects. So when you have knowledge on AI, you can ask your manager to assign some AI project, which will help you when you are switching. Because here, whatever work that you are doing, you can showcase that work as your experience, and you can switch to a next role, that is ML engineer or AI engineer. So in this way, you will be able to continue your career in ML and AI roles. Now this is one of the demanding role. You can easily do some job switch when you have some little experience. But initially as a fresher, some of you might not have very good knowledge in DSA and you might think, I wanted to become an AI engineer. That is not possible. Have some good knowledge on DSA and have some good knowledge on ML, and also if possible have some good knowledge on core subjects as well. In interviews they might focus mainly on this DSA and questions on core subjects like DBMS and OS and CN, and whenever they are checking your resume they might go on to ANML as well, because most of them they'll not expect you to have very good knowledge on ML initially, but once they see your resume, if they understand that you are having knowledge on ML, then they might ask questions if the interviewer is good enough to know ANML. If they don't know ANML, then there is no choice for you. You only thing that you need to do is to answer DSA and all these subjects questions. So that's why I recommend you to follow this particular process. Then you'll have very good chance of landing in some A or ML role in future. That's it for this video, guys. If you have any specific doubts, please comment down in the comment section. I might not solve all the questions, okay? Because so many of you are asking the same question, that is how to land up as a engineer as a fresher. For that, I don't have an exact answer. From my experience, whatever I feel, I answered it over here. That's it for this video. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.